My cats also help me face rejection. I try to feed them buggers all the time, and they look at me like, you're kidding, right? This is stupid. That's a dumb idea. You think I want to eat chicken? I've eaten chicken for 40 days straight. Today, no thanks.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
What is up, my friends? Hello. This is episode 71 of Jokes in the Gym with Rudy Tybersi. I'm your host, Rudy Tybersi. Welcome. It's another lovely day in the neighborhood, maybe your neighborhood, maybe a neighborhood. Just a lovely day in a neighborhood somewhere. I hope that you are in one of those neighborhoods where it's lovely. And today I kind of just want to talk. I had a really beautiful day yesterday. It was a wonderful, good, enjoyable, positive day. A lot of that was due to factors that were not my own making, but a lot of the factors were because of choices I made. And today I just want to give a bit of an outline as to how I can create a positive day for myself, and maybe you can use some of these tips to create a positive day for yourself as well. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to say this is the way to have a great day, but I mean, I guess I kind of am. There's a lot of different ways to have great days, and there's a lot of different ways to feel good. But I find that when you have a bit more intentionality, then a better day is likely to follow. Whatever good means to you, then that's great. I love that. I love to hear it. But maybe it's going with the flow. Maybe it's just waking up and having no plans, no purpose, no thing that you're like tied to doing. Stop doing that, cat. These are not for you to play with. Sorry, she's trying to have a great day by ruining my charging mechanisms. But And I've been there too. I love those. I've had amazing days where I've had no rhyme or reason, had no idea what the day was going to bring, and had a beautiful time. Sometimes that's wonderful. When you're in that space, when you can just flow and vibe, go with the push and go with the pull, then I love that. And you have to be able to do that in some ways. But I have found that, especially as I get older, especially as I age, especially as I find shit going down with my body, I need to make a plan. It doesn't have to be a minute by minute, hour by hour plan. I don't have to know everything that I'm going to do. I don't have to make it down to the minute. I remember I took an excursion when I was in Norway, when I lived abroad as a student, and the group leader, he was also an instructor at the university, he had it down to the minute. Like there was like 37, like 4:37 to 5:22. We were at this lookout point, like down to the exact minute. And that is fun and kind of cute and adorable at times. But I'm not talking about that. That's not what works for me when I'm trying to create a good day for myself. I do want to have a plan. And with that plan, I got some different P's I want to bust out. I want that plan. I want to do one thing that's productive. What's one thing that I can do this day that is productive? Whether that's maybe, working on a project you've been putting off, whether that's a new deck or refurbishing the shed or cleaning out the garage, or maybe it's something like writing a report or working on that script you've been putting off. That's what I'm trying to work on these days, is finishing a script or two. So like, how can you do one thing that's productive? Doesn't have to be everything. Maybe it's just mowing the lawn. I did that yesterday. I was on a roll yesterday, man. I was rolling. I worked. I asked, I have multiple jobs at the Y, and I asked if I could get off early because there's another thing I had to do at the Y. Not had to, but it was another meeting, and it was kind of cool. But I asked for what I needed unapologetically, and gave my coworkers enough time to prepare as well, to maybe be without me for an extra half hour or so, because that's what I needed to do, is leave early. But what's one thing you could do each day that's productive? So just like put one thing on there, because we got jobs, we got work, we got life, we got to do all those things. But what's one extra thing you can check off that list? I'm starting recording this a little later than I intended to because I got one of those things done. I needed to mail something that I've been putting off for a while. I have 2 or 3 more things I have to do today as well, calling some doctor's offices and changing things, checking on things, creating appointments, all that kind of stuff. And then so that's something I need to do. And so, but I'm planning that into my day as well. And when I've thought about it ahead of time, as opposed to like, oh, dragging my feet and oh, it's going to take it's such an energy drain and I got to do all this stuff. When I think about it, even just a little bit ahead of time, I find myself in a much better place to get that done. So what's one productive thing you can do? And what's one pleasant thing you can do? You've been working all day. What's the thing you can look forward to? You know, last night I was excited to watch a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs. The Warriors and the Rockets, baby. The Dubs in H-Town. I love a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs. Oh, that was a pleasant thing. And then I got to watch Last of Us. That was my Sunday night. Those were my treats, baby. In between them, I went for a grocery shop. I was filling up all the time pretty heartily yesterday because I didn't lift, so I had more energy to kind of commit to other things. I mowed the entire lawn. I got some golf swings in for the first time in decades. That was another pleasant thing. What's something you can look forward to, whether at the end of the day or the middle of the day, that just feels good? I was talking with another coworker, shout out to Adriana, about how having a good meal at lunch at work can just get you through that day. You know what I mean? Like sometimes that lunchbox or that burrito you're hankering for can get you through that workday so much better than if you're like, oh, how am I gonna get through it? And that's a plan. That's part of planning. That's how planning can just be so beneficial. And an extra bonus P in the plan P pyramid is purpose. If you add purpose into any of those things that you're doing, if your productivity levels or your pleasant action is filled with purpose, then you're going to feel doubly good. If that productivity is related to your sense of self, like I'm a comedian, and so I need to write 20 minutes of jokes today. You know, I need to sit down and work on my act for 10 minutes even. You know, I got one joke that I'm really trying to work on. I'm going to text my buddy about it. Or call him on the phone, chat about it, see what comes of it. And even if nothing comes of it, at least you did something that was aligned with what you want to be, what you believe to be, what you believe you are, what you are. And so making sure, or at least attempting to align your actions with your purpose, is going to make you feel a lot better on a day-to-day. I know at least it does for me. So that's one thing that I try to do more often. And when I have a bit of a plan, then I find my days usually go better. And sometimes I have too many things going on. Sometimes I have a lot of stuff that I want to get done. I've been, ADHD has been thrown around in doctors' offices with me in there. And sometimes I have to really actively remind myself to slow down. I have to remind myself that it's okay to take a break, to not go super fast with everything. This weekend, I had a fun activity. I went to a friend's fundraiser, and there was a lot going on. It was cool. It was like this, since the siege show fundraiser for some folks, and it was super cool. But there was like lights and music and people and sounds and drinks and all sorts of stuff, and I needed to remind myself to slow down. And I need to remind myself of that throughout the day. I have a problem going from one activity to the next, or it's a challenge for me. I've also been diagnosed with adjustment disorder, whatever that means. And so just taking a moment between activities to reset and kind of go on to the next thing can be super helpful. I wrote a note, try breathing, lol, because as lame as, sometimes you just have to remind yourself to breathe. This big sniffer of mine isn't the most best. It's for looks only. All those passages, they're clogged and it's wild and it's hard to breathe out of sometimes. So I have to consciously remind myself to breathe. One of my clients is an occupational therapist, and so she gives me some input and stuff on how she might treat clients who have heart conditions. And so I'm trying to breathe more. She said, okay, if you want to reduce stress, increase. And then my counselor said, inhaling produces fight or flight. Exhaling produces more of the sympathetic or the opposite of that. And so breathing in for a count of 2 and exhaling for twice as long, in through the nose, out through the mouth, that is a way to kind of reset. And I've been doing that a lot more lately, and it's been helping my central nervous system, I can tell. I'm not feeling as anxious and on edge lately. And just breathing in and out. In through the nose, out through the butt. There you go. So just try breathing. Do a little of that. Just when you find yourself getting overwhelmed, take a moment to slow down. Maybe it's breathing, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's going for a walk. Something like that really helps me when I'm trying to figure out how to wrangle my day. If I feel like something's getting away from me, what can I do right now to make me more able to get through the next hour of my day? And I think it's just nice to have those tools in the toolkit. You're able to adjust on the fly. I think, aren't like Navy SEALs taught about box breathing? In 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4, something like that. And so if you need to reset, if you need to feel a little more at ease, try box breathing. Try in through the nose for 2, out through the mouth, through pursed lips for 4. See how that kind of stuff impacts your day-to-day and how you move through the world. It might be awesome. It might help a lot. Or you might be like, that's dumb. I don't give a shit about breathing. I just do it. And if that's you, I am happy for you. But I got to think about this big old schnoz of mine. I put on Breathe Right strips all the time. Free air, baby. You know what I'm saying? And that really helps when I make sure to wiggle my body. When you're moving around, when you're exercising, there's another great tip, another great thing to do. We know this. Move around, wiggle it just a little bit. I want to see you wiggle it just a little bit. You know what I mean? So make sure to move around on a day-to-day basis. Yesterday I didn't lift. It felt great to have a day where I wasn't like putting myself through the ringer. Because last week I had one of my first intense workouts in a while, and it felt really good. And my body still needs a break from that. And so I found other ways to move around. You know, yesterday we had a work meeting at Laurelwood. We had some food, and that was great. And then we hit some balls, hit a bucket of balls out on the golf course. It had been probably a decade since I'd swung a club, and it felt good, baby. Ooh, hitting that ball, the goofy balls, baby. Having fun with balls. Golf balls, basketballs, handballs, volleyballs, racquetballs, lacrosse balls. I'm tossing balls around all day. It works the hand-eye coordination. That's one of the things I love doing with clients these days, especially older clients. Just tossing a ball back and forth. And if you want to add a little balance, do it on one leg. You can juggle on your own. Do a one-leg juggle. Every time you move around, you're doing a one-leg juggle. You're doing a one-leg ball toss. Every time you're moving around, that's that core you're working, baby. Deep old core. Hips, glutes, lumbo, pelvic, hip complex, core, baby. So wiggle around. Try it on different levels. Some days it's going to be intense. Some days it's just going to be, I just got 10 minutes and I'm going to move around a little bit. Do that. Watch a 5-minute workout. I'm working on the 5-minute workouts. If you got 5 minutes and you want to work out, freaking do it. Right, Bubba? So wiggle around. Another thing, shifting gears a little bit from the physical, that I've found that really is good for me is to embrace rejection. Embrace rejection. Seek out failure. Ask, and you may not receive. That's how life works. But once you know that, once you're okay with that, things become a lot easier. It allows you to move forward. It allows me to move forward a lot more when I'm okay with getting rejected. Because I've been rejected so many more times than I've been not rejected. And when that happens, I think that's one of the beautiful things about comedy is it allows you to embrace rejection in a way. Sometimes it can get too, you can embrace it too much. You know what I mean? Like you embrace the bomb too much. And I've been there. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to just bomb, 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 bomb. And it's not always fun, but you do have to build that thick skin. And as a Pacific Northwestern Scandinavian descent man, I got the thinnest skin this side of the Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Bubba. But when I find that I'm able to embrace rejection, whether that's asking someone out or proposing something at work or making a suggestion for something as simple as lunch or a meal that somebody else doesn't want, then you're at least okay with the fact that people are going to say no, because you're not always going to get the yeses that you want. So when you are able to embrace rejection a little more and know that it may or may not go your way, you have at least expressed your desire. You've at least made a freaking attempt. I shot my shot with a friggin' hottie recently. Got shot down, knocked straight to the ground, my dogs. But guess what? I did it. There's no perfect time. There's not a perfect time for anything. And once I was able to realize that, it allows me to move forward a lot more smoothly, because it's never going to go the way you want it. I say this all the time. Life doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't. You have the biggest plans in the world, and life just keeps throwing other shit your way. You got to be dodging shit left and right. It's coming at us fast. And if you are not okay with all the shit coming your way, you're going to just be covered in shit. But that's one that I've found that really helps me. And last week, another thing, kind of on that communication tip, set a boundary. Express your needs to someone without apologizing, like I talked about last week. And if you are able to set a boundary to someone in your life, someone close to you, someone at work, a friend, a family member, a cat, set a boundary clearly without apologizing, letting them know what you need. And if somebody doesn't respect that boundary of yours, if it's a serious boundary, then that's a sign that you might need to be moving in another direction. And so see how setting boundaries clearly to others affects you. I saw a friend of mine post something a while ago, shout out to Rashida. Knowing your worth will have your phone so dry. Something along those lines. But like knowing your value and being okay with what you believe your value is, it's going to change how things work for you. You're going to go through a time of adjustment where it's not the same as it once was, but that's okay, because you're not putting up with the same crap that you were putting up with before. If you set those boundaries and people don't respect them, then they don't respect you. They might not be the person to help you grow like you thought it was. And that's okay. That's okay. It's sad and it's hard, but it's also okay. But I think that we derive so much more from knowing who we are and what we want than from just constantly going with the flow. That's what I've done my whole life, and it's actually led to some pretty serious negative impact on me. Just being as small as I could. Just, oh, no, okay, it's fine, it's all right, okay, who cares? No, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And when you do that too much, you just lose yourself. You lose a part of yourself. And so by setting those boundaries, putting them in place, and knowing that they're important to you, really feeling that, I think you'll get to a place where you're more comfortable with all of these things we've been talking about today. Another thing that I think is super important to have a great day: create something, create a thing. Like I said, a joke, a story. I'm working on a script I need to get back to. Maybe you're working on your golf swing. Maybe you're working on your jump shot. Maybe you're working on the deck in the backyard. Maybe you're building a catio. Maybe you're learning to crochet. You know what I mean? Maybe you're learning to sea walk. I've always wanted to do a good sea walk. I just improvise and it doesn't look great, but it's fun. Maybe you want to be a ballroom dancer. Take a dance class. What, cat? She wanted to take a dance class, and she let me know. She pooped. She let me know that. But create something. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's physical. Maybe it's a connection with someone else. Reach out. See what happens. See how it goes. And that's another thing that helps me make a great day, is to connect with somebody. End the day on a note where you connect. Maybe it's your partner. Maybe it's your friend. Maybe it's your cat. Maybe it's an old person you did a show with, and you hadn't talked to them in a while. Your old comedy buddies, your old sketch friends, someone whose couch you slept on in Singapore. Reach out to them. Give them a high five. Tell them congrats. That also puts me in a good spot. Cat, are you scratching away? Let's see if we can see the scratchy girl. You getting them scratches in, girl? There she is. There's her little face. There's your little cat face. Gosh, you're cute. You're an angel. My cat's an angel. I try to connect. I got 4 cats that are companions of mine that I'm at least partially responsible for feeding on a daily basis. I try to connect with each of them, at least for a minute each day somehow. Take a moment to slow down. That's something that really helps me slow down, is my cats, my pets. Just thinking about it makes me happy. You want to go out, girl? Meow. My cats also help me face rejection. I try to feed them buggers all the time, and they look at me like, you're kidding, right? This is stupid. That's a dumb idea. You think I want to eat chicken? I've eaten chicken for 40 days straight. Today, no thanks. We'll let you out in a second, Bubba. She has to deal with rejection a little more too. And finally, the last thing I want you to do on a daily basis, fart. Let her rip. Let it out. Let it go. Or maybe not fart, but let something out. Release it. A fart. A turd. Watch out. Might be both. An orgasm. A sneeze. A cough. A shout. A hoot. A holler. A laugh. Let it out. It needs to come out. It needs to come out. If it's in our body, it wants to go somewhere. Let that energy pass through you. Let it pass through you. See what it'll do you. And I hope it doesn't screw you. Don't fart in the wrong spot, because it might. But I hope you're having a great day. I hope you do some of these things or one of these things. See what happens. I just tossed a bunch of shit your way. Maybe you're like, this is dumb. I know all these things. And it's like, yeah, me too. I know all these things. That's why I'm talking about them. Because I have to remind my thick freaking brain, my big fat skull. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm just saying words with emphasis. And so I hope that you are able to do some of these things on your day-to-day basis. And maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't, but I know it helps for me. And if there's other things that you do on your day-to-day that help you, let me know. Holler, jokesandthegym@gmail.com, or on Instagram, on the gram, on the talk, the ticky-talky, talky-ticky, TikTok. And let me know. Holler at your boy. I haven't been super active on the socials, and I think honestly that makes me feel better too. So be a human being. A human being. Enjoy your lives. Pet a cat. Hug a friend. Tell someone you love them. And see where that takes you. And I thank you for letting it take you here today. And I hope that you have a great continued rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you on the flippy flop. And let me know what you do to have a great day. I'd love to hear it. Thanks for stopping by.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
How's the Bubba? How are you? Yes, that's a good girl. See you.